Planning and Zoning Commission for Wednesday, July 27th, 2022 is called to order.
And then you do a roll call.
You'll do a roll call, please.
Sharon Callahan is absent. Luke Honier,
Present.
Charlie Obermeyer.
Here.
Mayor. See, I did it. Deb Painter. Here. And Barb
12 months
Yeager.
later.
Here.
Okay, the public is advised that members of the Hampstead Town Council may be present and in attendance at this meeting. All persons are reminded that this session is being recorded on tape as required by law for the preservation of records and are asked, when providing comment, to give their name and address. All persons in attendance are requested to print their name, address, and affiliation on the sign-in sheet in the back. Okay, shall we go through the agenda? Okay, first on the agenda, minutes approval for June 22nd, 2022, regular commission meeting. Can I get a motion for approval?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, so approved. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So approved. Tammy, can we get a zoning administrator update, please?
Sure. I just wanted to mention again, Jim mentioned it last month, that we went with the North Carroll High School staff, they now work for Coppermine. So Coppermine is a managing partner with Blue Ocean, and Coppermine has an option to buy the building in 3 years if it's something they want to pursue. So, but they're moving forward with ramping the fields, including the softball and baseball fields. So they are moving forward with that. But the most interesting thing that happened a couple weeks ago, the town found out that we now own Main Street. It's all ours. So we found out, I guess, about June 8th, or July 8th, excuse me, that at the June 22nd Maryland the Board of Public Works meeting, they approved the transfer from State Highway to the town. No one told us, but that's what happened. And then, so we'd already retained White Pine to assist with plowing snow. We had already budgeted for additional street sweeping and taking care of those type of things. What we didn't have in place was forms and processes for like utility permits, access permits, an inspector on standby for all the work that's going on Main Street. So State Highway there's probably 5 projects. State Highway did all the approvals, looked over everything. They were at the point to sign the permit when it was transferred to us. So the legwork was already done. We just had to get the form together. So we were good with the projects that are occurring right now. It's just moving forward. There'll be a lot of additional work from owning Main Street, but it is officially ours. Right
Assume that's
before
a
the
good
windstorm came through. Yes, like right before the windstorm comes through and
Okay.
twist some of the traffic signals, it's ours.
Okay,
But that's good.
good.
And all the projects, as you guys know from last meeting, are still moving forward, so it's busy.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Okay, next on the agenda, approval of signage, House of Madness, 1220 North Main Street. Good, how are you?
You good?
Just tell us your name for the record,
Oh,
please.
Jason, from House of Madness Tattoos. Jason Lynn from House of Madness Tattoos.
Okay, great. Then, yeah, I mean, is there any commentary on the application for the House of Madness sign?
I like the description of
I do too.
Yeah,
the reason
the great
for the new
storm.
sign.
Yeah.
We've been talking
Great
about that
storm.
For a long time, yeah.
The only question I had was, you said when it works. Is that just an issue with the?
Well, now that one of the panels is out, I can fix the bulbs that are in
Okay.
there, kind of establish where the problem is with why it doesn't light up
Okay.
like it should.
That was the only question. I figured it was something
Yeah,
along those
something
lines.
that's above my pay grade. I don't know anything about electricity.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so my question was, yeah, so I saw the picture of the existing sign and the new sign. Are you replacing the same new sign on both
It'll
sides?
be both sides.
Okay. Okay.
Or it's the same size as the other one, just.
Correct.
I like the new one.
Yeah, I do so.
I like the old one too, but,
I like the old one too.
yeah, but okay. Those are my only comments. Any other questions or comments on the sign application for House of Madness? Good. Can I get a motion for approval for the signage House of Madness, 1220 North Main Street?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Replacement sign at House of Madness, 1220 North Main Street.
You get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'll send
Thank
you
you.
a signed certificate tomorrow sometime.
Awesome, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, approval of signage, Hampstead Pre-Owned, 1111 South Main Street.
And before we discuss it, I just wanted to give a little bit of background. You've been given some paperwork. When the sign was first installed, when it was a Chevy car dealership, there were conditions for the sign, as you see in the memorandum. And when you approve, or if you choose to approve the new sign, those conditions will still apply. And as you know, in code, only school systems, public buildings, and the fire department's allowed to have a digital sign. However, just as with True Value, if they replace a sign kind for kind, they can continue to have a digital sign, as long as there's no moving images on the screen. Like, they can fade in and out, they just can't dance or move.
Okay, so then, do you want to just give us a little bit of background, and then we'll open it for questions?
Yeah, you might need to turn that on. The button's on the top.
Hello? Did that work? Okay. Yeah, Ron Thomas, Strickler Sign Company out of Hanover, representing Hampstead Pre-Owned. This is Mike Schneider, representing one of the owners. Simply is the sign that's there, we originally installed it, and we maintained it for them for Stanball and now for these folks. The sign is obsolete. We cannot get parts anymore, so it cannot be repaired, and it's dead. So what I gave you to replace it is, we're gonna replace it same size as the existing. And even though it's a full color sign, it will be programmed to look, and I have a demo out there, we can go look at it if you want. It would be programmed to look like the old one, which was an amber unit. So one color gold is what it was. So it can be programmed to look the same exact way as the old one. And so it'll be same size, same light, and they are aware of the stipulations that were sent to me in an email. So that's what we're after, just because we can't repair the old one anymore.
Okay, so I remember you coming here for the Main Street Fire Company, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
fire company, yep,
Had
they
the
did that
same,
one,
same
yep.
kind of question, so I'm just offering to the group, do we want to go outside, take a quick look?
Wanna
They
look
came
at
all
the
this way
content?
and drove it?
I looked on the way in,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just my questions were some of the same that we had when we were talking about the fire company sign. Is just what sort of controls do you have on what gets programmed up there so, something doesn't go awry? Somebody puts a message up there that's inappropriate, something like that.
Well, I mean, it's a cloud-based software. The only way anybody's getting into that is if they have their IP address and their login credentials. They can't. It's virtually unhackable. It's unhackable. So, no one's going to be, unless the owner does it. I mean, there's no.
So it has to
one-
come from a specific device with
Right.
a specific
It's-
IP address in order to program it.
Right, it's
Okay.
cloud-based software, so you log on a website, Watchfire is the manufacturer, so you log on a Watchfire website, your sign comes up, you have login credentials, you have to log in to get to that, and then once you log in, then you can create and change and stuff like that, but it's a very secure, the government uses these signs now, so
Sure.
they're very secure. It's Verizon 4G wireless, which is very secure.
Okay.
It's broadband connection and then cloud-based software. So no one's going to hack into that and put inappropriate. And as soon as they find out, they could shut it down anyway. So
Right.
but that's not. We've never known of that happening.
I do have a question. You had mentioned keeping it the same, you described amber, yellow. Is that the business's intent, is to keep it one color for everything?
100%
So-
guidelines, whatever you want.
So it's going to be text only, no cars zipping by, or, okay.
Most codes have no flashing, blinking animation anyway. So yeah. So they're used to that.
Right, it's in the Stanbaugh agreement, so you're honoring what was there for the Stanbaugh agreement, right?
Yeah. Jim
Okay.
sent it to us. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I just wasn't clear on too, in the standby agreement, it talked about different lighting depending on I guess, the time of day or the light. Is
Yeah,
it
it
similar?
auto dims at night, correct.
Okay.
It auto dims down to 10% of the brightness that it is during the day, correct.
And the hours will be turned on no earlier than 6 and turned off before, at 10.
Yeah, they're aware of that, and the sign can simply, there's nothing manual with it, they just simply program the sign. If there's nothing programmed, it goes dark, so that's how they can take care of that.
Just a curiosity question. How long has the other sign been broken?
Oh, well.
Right.
8 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so less than a
been a
year.
while.
Okay.
Quite some time.
Yeah, when digital signs are dead, it kind of looks like you're closed, and, it's not doing them any good to,
Trust me, it went through quite a process, working with Ron, trying to see if we could repair it in any kind of way, trying to find parts. They just don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Watchfire stops them. I mean, they support them. Most other manufacturers, 10 years, you're done. But Watchfire generally supports them until about year 13, which is what happened here.
Okay. Everybody good? Any more questions? Okay. Can I get a motion for the approval of signage, Hampstead Pre-Owned, 1111 South Main Street?
So
Motion-
moved.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. All right, thanks.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Yeah.
Same, I'll send you the certificate tomorrow.
Thanks. Next on the agenda, discussion of draft for Chapter 9 of the 2022 Hampstead Comprehensive Plan Update, Economic Development and Activity.
Both of us, I just want to start with, now that we have Andrew helping us, he had some suggestions. Also, what we will probably end up doing is, instead of the comprehensive plan of 2020, we're probably going to say the comprehensive plan of 2022, because it's so we're behind. But what I wanted to ask, there were some things, mostly formatting and different suggestions Andrew had. He also had caught that we should add about North Carroll High School, because we're determining where would our cutoff be. But if we decide to call it 2022, we might as well include what's going on with the high school. So when we make those changes, I didn't know if you wanted us to bring it back to you, or just know when you get the final comprehensive plan that those changes will be in there. And adding a few images too to spruce it up a little.
I think the final is fine. Rather
Oh.
than delay it and
Man, it's not gonna be
changes and then
a
back.
major,
Yeah.
a different direction or anything. It's just some updates. And Andrew's looked at the other chapters too, and there'll be some tweaking. And really, this is not an approval. It's more of, hey, you have any ideas? The approval comes when you look at the whole comp plan as a whole.
Yeah.
Is it still gonna go the same length of time, because it was what, 10 years? This
Yes,
comprehensive plan?
so our 10-year can start at 2022 instead of 2020.
So it'll go to 32 instead of
Right.
originally 30?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Which, and one of the reasons I wasn't in a hurry, because I wanted to capture the newest census data, which is always like the end of the beginning of the decade, 2020. It didn't make any sense to finish it in 2020 when you had census data coming out, but with COVID, everything was behind. We didn't get our demographics or most of our census data to the very end of 2021. So everything was really behind. So I thought, well, since with everything going on with COVID and everything that happened and us being behind schedule, make it 2022, like Andrew suggested. I like that idea. And then that way, when we continue updating it, by law, we have to do it within 10 years, but of course, they waived a lot because of COVID. But we could just do it again for 2032, and then we all would always have the newest census data and just continue that way.
Great idea.
And I think, I love the idea of adding some graphics in there pertaining to the subject matters being discussed in the plan. It just modernizes it a little bit, how now things are more graphic people
Well, and some
pay
of
attention
it,
to it more.
the graphics where, for example, economic development, there used to be charts and stuff on the Carroll County Economic Development page, and they don't do it anymore. And like census still hadn't come out. It's the places where you could go and get graphics, they weren't there. So that's why some of them were taken out, because we just couldn't find them.
It makes it more pleasurable to read.
Exactly.
Well, and it gives you, down the road, 20 years from now, something to go back and look at, you
Right.
know, and see what's changed, and, you know, if there's a,
And for graphics, you mean like a map as well? So that was one of my
There's a
comments.
map, like we
Yeah.
were discussing with Andrew, where we created the map that actually shows the different commercial districts in town, along with the different industrial districts in town, that will go into the economic development chapter, showing basically these are the areas that have the greatest economic impact on the town.
But the document's extremely important because as we approve projects forward, it needs to meet the guidelines of the comprehensive plan. So it's an important document it's, again, our guardrail of what we're doing.
Well, so did you want it to go through this, or do you want to just wait till we get to the final? I'm trying to,
No, if you guys have changes, we can incorporate it
Yeah.
the same time that we're incorporating Andrew's changes. If you
And
have
Tammy
any
was
suggestions.
basically just, as we do these changes chapter by chapter, would you like to see them chapter by chapter? These, and they're not major at all, or would you rather just wait and see the entire finished product of what we've accomplished so far?
For the past ones that
Yeah.
you've already seen.
I could say for me, I like the cadence that you've had, because if I got the whole, you know,
Right.
binder at once and reading through it,
Mhm.
I'm more of a, you know, a chapter at a time kind of guy.
Well, I mean, we're going to continue to give a chapter at a time. We were just thinking the past one, and Andrews have walked through, and he has different suggestions. Again, it doesn't change the meaning of the chapter,
Yeah.
just adding graphics. Or
Okay.
would you like to see the past ones? Okay.
I don't need to.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
I'm good with the final.
And I think it probably would be best in the future, work with Andrew before we submit it to you, and
Right.
those changes would already be incorporated.
Correct.
Yeah. How many more chapters do you have?
Too many?
3.
Because I thought you were pretty far along, yeah.
That's 4. There's 4
Four,
left.
yeah, yeah.
9 plus
Every
4.
time we have a meeting, Chris
It
asks
goes
me,
up
I say 4.
34
I've been saying
Adding
4
chapters.
for like
One of it's the
Changing
census
the goal
chapter,
line.
right? One of it's a census
Yeah.
chapter, so we just have to download the census.
But I like the
information.
idea of shifting it,
I'm just gonna
because
start
if we
saying
have the
3 for
data
a
in front
couple
of us,
months.
does that align with like anything Carroll County does as far as data stuff on
Carroll
the
County, I
on
think
the
their last one was
decades?
2014, or they updated it 2019. So they were like 5 years behind, I think.
The county, Tammy, you're correct, the county's comprehensive plan was 2014 and they updated it in 2019.
So they were also behind, as we all are. Does anybody have any suggestions for the last chapter that was?
Yeah, I just went through, and it's always tough, like when I read like the goals part, I know they're meant to be, you know, a little more abstract, not, you know, the particulars, but, you know, there's words like high quality, clean and attractive, you know, they're not too specific, but the intent for this is not to be super specific, but the zoning, planning and zoning details are gonna get into that.
Well, the
like,
thing, if we want to
you
change
know.
the details, we change the town code.
Right.
That way that we can be flexible throughout the comp plan and not have to amend the comp plan every time we make a detail change.
Yeah, because I do like, I mean, the way the goals are written in that context, I think they read well, right? Community character, I mean, not just the low taxes that keep
Right.
people here, at least that's not what keeps me here, right? It's just
Right.
a nice community. I wouldn't want to see it look like, what's that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, right? Where you
Right.
see the Potterville, right, scene, right? I don't want to see that, but this speaks to it well, so I like that.
Well, and I don't know if you are aware, Lou, we had a public meeting with planning and zoning, and that's where the goals came from.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just a couple other things, like when you mentioned the CSX rail line adjoins the area, providing direct access to rail transportation. So I wasn't aware that, I mean, the rail line runs through, but you don't really have access to it. There's no stopping point for it, is there? Where you can load and unload?
A business could,
Could, okay,
but none of them have chosen to do that.
Okay.
But they could.
got it.
And obviously not an inexpensive thing to do, but it's there if they wanted to
Okay.
connect to the rail
Got it.
in the areas where they could. But I don't think we have anybody nowadays that's actually connected to it.
Not now, there's not, no.
Okay. And Oh, go ahead.
But there's an opportunity, I think they rate the warehouses, right, or the facilities, so it's like a type C versus type A, and if they have the ability to connect to railways, then
Right.
it could be elevated from a type C to type A, and I think that's all like an aspect of like where you can get your stuff to and how easily you can
Right.
get it. So obviously, like, if you're in the Inner Harbor down in Baltimore, or along 95, your warehouse could be exactly the same as built in Hampstead, but it's gonna be graded higher there because of its accessibility. So having the railway access, I think, is actually pretty
Because
important.
most
they could do it.
warehousing in Maryland goes along 95 or
Right.
by the port or 81,
Right.
which is not all Maryland, but it's just one of those things. It's available if somebody wanted to put the money in to have a spur come from the railroad.
Yeah, well, I just remember when we were, going through the Dollar General and that closeness to the CSX and the kind of the hassle that was. I can't imagine
That's because
that.
they just wanted them to, I shouldn't say this, but they just wanted them to repair the culvert underneath.
Got it, yeah.
So they weren't making any money off the development.
And then I also had a comment in here just about the, 4 bog turtle habitats, so it, made it into the thing. So is that still an ongoing, is there like a regular environmental group that surveys it, makes sure that the bog turtles are
Yeah,
still?
it's the Department of Natural Resources. Yeah, and it
So,
will
and they
never go
still
away.
do that, huh? And how's our bog turtle population?
Evidently alive and thriving.
Uh-huh. So they made, when they were doing the south section of North Carroll Business Park, they had them do a,
That's right.
I started to say survey, that's not the room, but it's a study to see if there were any bog turtles like coming to that side. There were not.
Okay.
So,
So some shopping in Dollar General.
Did you? Yes, I was just curious because it says, there's a certain big parcel that we can't access because of the bog turtles. And I thought, well, if the bog turtles are, 10 years from now,
no, they will be there
They
forever.
will
We
be
have the
there.
largest bog turtle habitat, I think,
go.
I know it's in Maryland, but I think it's on the East Coast.
So,
I have the whole big report if you ever want to read it.
It should be on a sign.
The home of the bog
Yeah.
turtle.
Guess what Hampstead.
You can't go see them, so
That's
don't
an-
go there,
That's
but
an
they're there.
unknown fact. That should be on a sign.
yeah, so I'm sorry if I'm the only, the only
No,
other
that's fine.
comment I had was the Roberts Field Shopping Center. And so for some reason, I had it in my mind that they were outside of our town, but they are. Yet I don't recall any sign applications coming through this group at all.
because they are outside the Main Street revitalization area. Any signs that are outside the revitalization area can be approved as long as they meet code by town staff.
I see, okay.
Yes,
And don't they have to go through the owner, the shopping center owner,
correct.
so they're all
So they're all, yes.
similar?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
On a
Same with
similar-
Hampstead Marketplace on the other end.
And on a related note, we got the sign application yesterday for Cinco de Mayo,
Nice.
so.
That's gonna be
They
Where were they moving into?
Robert's
Roberts
Field.
Field Shopping Center.
Do you know which?
In the area between Pipe the Side and the end there, where
Oh.
the Chinese restaurant used to be.
Wow, so you got CNR expanding, you got Pipe to Side, you're gonna have that there. Be nice.
And which was what was once empty is rapidly filling.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just in time for the couple hundred Hampstead workers to come up here, by the way. We just moved all our
Really?
initial titles up.
Good.
Now, do they have kind of schedules where they can come out for lunch? Oh, good.
Really, 200 people?
They're gonna stagger it, so we're just starting to ship the initial titles. Originally, it was just comics up
Right.
here, and we ran out of space in Westminster. So they're bringing up all the initial titles, like new titles that are going on sale every Tuesday are coming up here. So,
Wow, that's great.
yeah, and the sizes of the warehouse, I didn't realize this until the other day. The Hampstead site is 1 million square feet. The one in Westminster is 1.6. So I didn't realize they were that,
Right.
for all intents and purposes, that close in size. So, so we're gonna bring at least 100 up.
Wow,
They're gonna stagger them up and then see how it goes.
it's great.
I just
Yeah.
think it's, I don't know what I want to use, but I think it's great. Unfortunately, the pandemic harmed some businesses, but the book industry, the print industry, it's like it just exploded.
It really did.
good.
Yeah, so we're running out of space, so, but it'll be nice for the community, and with the new places like Cinco de Mayo and the expansion of CNR and Pipe the Side, it'll be a nice little, because a lot of people in Westminster, Hampstead, where's that? I mean, they seriously have no
Wow.
concept of, they see us as this really little town where nothing is.
In the middle of nowhere.
And now that some of them are coming up here, they're like, oh, it's really nice up there. I'm like,
Okay, well, any more comments on the discussion of draft?
But thank you, Lou.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good? All right, next on the agenda, Carroll County Department of Planning update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just to give a really brief update for the comprehensive rezoning, following the completion of the work group meetings, staff has worked on the changes to the agricultural and conservation zoning regulations. A draft of the Ag and Conservation zoning regulations was transmitted to the County Planning and Zoning Commission in June, and work sessions have begun. The primary source for the information, in case anybody's watching and wondering, is www.carrollrezoning.org. The 2022 Spring Amendment to the 2019 Carroll County Water and Sewer Master Plan. A public hearing was held on July 14th at the County Office Building during the Board of County Commissioners' regular open session. The commissioners voted to keep the record open for 10 days, which would have closed on July 24th, and they would be back in 2 weeks for adoption. The 2022 Fall Amendment to the 2019 Carroll County Water and Sewer Master Plan. The department will begin accepting applications in August, with a deadline of September 1st for the upcoming fall amendment cycle.
But Andrew, our amendment that we requested, it's on the spring, correct? It's on the spring amendment for the water and sewer master plan?
Well, right,
Right.
what came, what Price had the last time that he was here.
Okay,
Yep, that should be in the spring amendment cycle.
perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Then the triennial update to the 2019 Carroll County Water and Sewer Master Plan is coming up. Just a reminder, I don't think the town has anything for that. Also, the Transportation Master Plan is still ongoing. For the annual report, the annual report was certified by the Planning and Zoning Commission on June 29th and was due to the Maryland Department of Planning on July 1st. The hazard mitigation plan is currently in the process of being finished up, and that is all I have, Mr. Chair. If any of you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any more questions? Nope. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, other business? Okay, nothing? Public comment?
Anyone?
Okay, I'd like to propose that we close the meeting. Can I get a motion to close the Wednesday, July 27th, 2022 Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission meeting?
Motion to close the meeting.
I second it. All in favor?
Right.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything?